A motion by Helmut.
Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we're here to talk about what goes on in the village, the township. You know, those people that make laws and regulations that affect you out there.
That's right, Elgin. And whether you live in the village of Oxford, the village of Leonard, Oxford Township, or Addison Township, these are the people, I think in November, they went and elected. And the commissions and the committees that make decisions that would have directly affected you had you gone to that meeting, and probably did.
Maybe not.
And the result could be a taxing situation because you didn't give your opinion at that meeting. Anyhow.
If you did not attend those meetings, or any of those meetings, as David points out, don't be surprised if there's some humor that kind of enters in down the line. One of the things, of course, is taxing.
In which case you won't be laughing.
No, not for a long time anyway, at least not to the bank. That's pretty sure. Also, one of us spreads a few rumors in this program, and that would be, you know.
Yeah, I do. And
he does.
He spreads the rest.
Once in a while, I do. So pay attention, and you will get the gist of what went on in the meetings. Even though it may not be 100% accurate, it gives you the capability of weeding out, you know, what is more correct and
it's
what
called
is not
taking
correct.
a story and making it a really good story.
Yeah, we embellish that a lot.
Embellish, I like that.
He does more than I do, but we'll see how this works out, folks. But anyway, the first story we're going to talk about, of course, in the meeting is the Oxford Village Council meeting that was held on June 12th of this month. And Sue Bassarded, of course, is the president of the council. Eric Dolan is the vice president. Maureen Helmuth serves as a trustee on the board. Joe Frost as well, and Dave Bailey. And Dave Bailey has been on this board for quite a while, as well as Helmuth has been on the board for quite a while. Yep, and doing a pretty good job out there.
Any of those positions coming up for re-election in November?
You know, I really couldn't tell you. It seems like at least one should be.
Okay.
Because one is an appointment.
That always short-lived.
Yes, and that would be Joe Frost. So
okay.
That one would be coming up. If he's going to run again, I hope he does. But if not, you folks, there's a seat there that can be filled. Drew Benson, who is the, I want to say the assistant village manager now, because he's not really an intern. He's graduated.
Is that official?
I think it's just a title at this point, and Drew does a good job in other things too. I mean, he's involved in the web page or the website for the village and for the DDA and so forth.
I think you're on that committee too, aren't you?
I am, yep. Eric Dolan also serves on that committee. And several other people, of course, from the DDA and the village council. Joe Madur, of course, is the village manager, and he was there at the meeting, as was Bob Davis, who very seldom misses a meeting, and he's the attorney for the village, Bob Davis. Okay, so they did the pledge, got the preliminaries out of the way. The agenda was approved right off the get-go. Presentations, Joe Madur introduced a company called Energy Production Coalition, and they're a nonprofit group. And what they do is they convert existing lighting to LED lighting, and not just an inexpensive, cheap put-together LED. They're a nonprofit, yep. And they do, interesting enough, they do provide services and light bulbs and so forth for Auburn Hills City, Shelby Township, Mackinac City they're working with right now, and they've done the Detroit Opera House as well for a number of years.
But they must work through contractors.
They do. They run through various contractors and electricians.
And it's all free?
Yeah, it's all free. And you're going to say, all free? Free can't be free. Yeah, it is free.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
Right. Well, there is in this case. And what happens is the energy savings over a 15-year, and they project even 20 years before anything has to be changed again. The savings amounts to roughly about, could be, let's give an example of $500.
Okay.
Yeah, out of that savings, for the length of the contract or period of the contract, they receive part of that profit. The other part of the savings, of course, goes to the village, which is a good thing.
Should they accept a contract to go to LED lighting, which they already have?
Right. Now, the LEDs that they've installed so far go along the street. You know, they've changed street lights, that kind of thing. And those won't be affected under this contract unless at some point they choose to do that. Now, how is it going to work? Well, you take the director of the DPW down, or the Department of Public Works,
And electrify them?
Don Brantley. No, you don't electrify him. You keep him around. He's doing a good job out there. You do not want to electrify
I
him.
didn't say electric.
I heard that. So anyway, he is a pretty good sized guy, and he might take his electrification out on you.
Yeah,
So
So anyhow,
so anyway, he will be the one who will actually decide what buildings need to be changed over to LEDs.
buildings?
Yeah, there'll be complete buildings. The first one they're looking at, of course, is the village administrative buildings that they have, you know, on Burdick Street. And there's other buildings, of course, that they deal with on, one is on, let me see. Where's their main operation at?
What, the village?
No, the DPW, over near the water tower.
By the water tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
On Glassby
Yeah,
Street.
Glassby. That's the word. Look at that. It comes right through when I need them. Okay.
Thanks to my
Glass-
GPS. No.
Yeah, right. Glassby Street. So anyway, so there's buildings over there that need to have LEDs. And anyway, an overall savings is a great idea. This was a presentation presented by Jack Lehman and Jim Lamorato. And Lamorato is the president, I guess, of the company. And they've been in existence roughly for about 7 years, and they're doing quite well.
It's a nonprofit company?
Nonprofit company.
Okay.
And at this particular presentation, at that time, they did not make any action. That'll be done further down the line. So next thing that was covered was the public hearing. Is there anyone that wants to speak on non-agenda items? No, nobody. So they went on with that. And then they said a call to the public was part of that. That's all done, finished, kaput. Consent agenda was the next item that they talked about. And they received and filed the council meeting memo that they had, letters, reports in minutes, police report for the May 2018, Public Works also report for 2018, and the code enforcement report. You've seen those before, right?
No.
No, you haven't? What you been doing in your life?
Listening to you.
Oh, okay. All right, see that?
I rely on him for all
Right.
the good stuff.
That does work. Now, also, they were talking about snow removal was the next issue that they talked about
In the middle of the summer.
in the middle of the summer. Now's the time to do it.
Yep.
Before you know it, that white stuff comes down. It comes down a lot here. So they want,
Right now it's cottonwood.
and right now it's still white. Yes, it's cottonwood. And I just figure out who those cotton patches are at. you
Where?
know. I think they're coming from your home. I'm not sure.
Absolutely not. I'm downwind from a cottonwood and I pay the price for that.
You're too busy moving little chipmunks, I understand.
I call it a relocation program.
Location. So watch out in your backyard. If you see extra chipmunks, this guy over here.
No, I take them.
He drives by and
I
drops them
I
off.
take them to the woods. where
Oh
one
no! What do
lives.
they do in the woods?
I
you
hope
don't
they
hurt
find
them.
their. Well, I hope they don't find their way back.
Okay, so it's miles away.
But you got to take them about 2 miles, from what I hear, or else they'll find their way back.
Look at the neat things you folks are learning out there, chipmunks and all. We'll
boy.
tell you more when we come back
Hey,
right
I don't
after
like
this.
killing them.
Hopefully not. Welcome to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
We were talking about the village council meeting that happened, and one thing that they did cover, of course, is the bills for the month, and the bills were $109,549.83. You got that?
Yep.
Take a memo.
Precise.
Right, precise. And of course, the minutes for May 15th, May 22nd, and June 4th were also approved, received, and filed. Okay.
Oh.
So now we're going to get on the old business. We're going to talk about old snow.
Old snow.
Yeah, and ordinance
Old
was
snow around here
old-
tends to be gray snow or black snow.
right, or disappearing snow this time of the year, hopefully, and a return of snow, which is called fluff. what do you call that? Tree?
The return of snow. First the leaves fall and then the snow falls.
They do. Okay, so let's talk about the ordinance that Bob Davis has put together. It involves cleaning the sidewalks in front of the businesses downtown. It's been a problem over a period of time.
Well, they rely on individual businesses to clean their own sidewalks.
Right,
don't
and
they?
and the problem is they haven't driven home that that's the responsibility of the business to do.
Could be patchy.
Yep, this ordinance will bring things to light beyond the snow.
Well, what are they proposing to do?
Okay, it's either going to be the responsibility of the owner or the person who occupies the location. But when it snows at certain hours, if it's not cleared within a certain amount of time, there will be a fine issued for not clearing.
Wouldn't a third alternative be to have a special assessment for the DPW to come through and clear off the sidewalks?
They don't have the manpower to do that. And if they do that, that's all part of the ordinance, so,
Well, that's what the special assessment would cover.
well, yeah, if you had an SID, that would do it, but I don't think they're going to go along with that
Well,
one.
I don't know.
But anyway, so
You either
first,
do it or you don't.
yeah, well, they probably don't. In first infraction, they're looking at roughly about a $100 fine for the first infraction if you don't clear your sidewalk and
Of
you're
course,
notified.
for an individual business owner, where does he put the snow?
Ah, how funny you should ask,
I did.
because that was discussed. And you put the snow off the sidewalk, not into the street, but on the edge of the curb and the street.
There's an overlap there.
There, yep.
Where it
and
falls
you
over the
put it-
curb
you
and
put
goes
it over
onto the
there. That's where it's got to go. So anyway, don't put it in the street, folks. They'll be coming back to haunt you. On a second infraction, they're going to charge you $300. So you want to make sure you catch the note the first time. They're more
Sorry.
likely.
Sorry
if
you
you-
didn't go for the SAD.
Yeah, all right. But if you're out there and you're shoveling, I'm sure that they won't, give you, a ticket. Pretty sure.
What's the
Could be.
time limit for clearing your sidewalk?
Well, there's going to be they haven't really decided the exact scheduled time, if it snows at nighttime as opposed if it snows in the afternoon, to have it cleared by the next morning. So those are issues that still are coming about. If there's a third issue, in other words, they don't follow,
Wouldn't the third issue be adding a little salt to your sidewalk?
I think it'd probably hiring somebody to do it if you can't do it.
Well, I mean, you know,
$300 fine for or
snow-
$500
The
fine.
residual snow melts, it gets slick, and someone
Right.
falls.
Well, let's say you've been warned 3 times, and this guy probably 4 or 5 times.
by the people that
but-
fall?
But maybe on the 5th time, they get a hold of you and they say, hey, from now on, it's $500 fine for each infraction. That would slow you down a bit. Anyway, you want to get out there with your shovel and take care of it.
It just seems like there's a slicker way to do it.
That's what they're
Slick.
coming up with. Slick, I heard that one. Yes, I'm going to let that one slide right on by. But anyway, that's what they're working on. And of course, it's been set aside until the next meeting where eventually, of course, it'll be brought to you, the folks out there, where you'll have a say.
By the way, is this for the entire scope of the village and the commercial area, or just for the downtown area?
They're addressing the downtown at this time, and it's very possible that it could flow into
So wouldn't that be a DDA
residential
problem?
area. Well, it's part of what DDA has complained about in the past, so
Oh.
the council is taking it on.
Okay.
So that's the way it works. Yeah,
All right.
that's like him. If he has a problem, he just sends it to me.
Just trying to draw the boundary around this activity, that's all.
Okay. Anyway, it's got lots of boundaries, but anyway, so also they went forward with the agreement for the Energy Production Coalition that we just talked about in the production or presentation, and everybody thought it was a great idea. Helmuth made the
It seems
motion.
like these guys have to wait a long time to recap their investment.
They claim that the return on investment is fairly quick on it, and
Really?
actually at a
You
given
said 15 years.
Yeah, but at a given point, the village actually will realize only the electric bill be charged, nothing for the lights at all, under the contract.
They never fail?
Hardly ever the types of lights they use.
Hardly ever.
Well, they use a very good quality light, LED,
Okay.
as opposed to the type that you get at the thrift store. Not a good idea.
I think they call those matches.
Yeah, they have what they call extenders too, and they put extenders where you've got can lights and the lights are up inside. You don't really get full impact of the lighting when they're inserted within the can. So they have extenders that drop the bulb down some and distributes the light more evenly and more effectively.
I think one of the issues with that too is the actual spectrum of the light. You can go
It
for
is.
that cold kind of blue spectrum or a warmer
Yep.
one, which
And-
lights up bricks very nicely.
Yeah,
by the
well,
way.
and particularly outdoors, I mean, you want the light to go forward and around. A lot of light bulbs, they'll project the light up. So you try not to do that.
Right.
These guys are very knowledgeable on what
Okay.
they were talking about. So anyway, so revised special assessment was the next thing that they worked on because they did approve this, this lighting system. Joe Madure needed to make an adjustment on that because apparently for your bills out there for water and sewer, some of you folks pay in credit card and there's a delay in processing in their credit card. So when the deadline was due, you became delinquent. But after a couple of days, that money came forward and so you weren't delinquent.
Can they set up for automatic charge to the credit card?
Right now they cannot, but they're going to do that under the new website, hopefully.
That would solve that problem.
Yep, and there's other things, invoicing, all kinds of things that you folks can do under the new website once it's developed, and a company was chosen to do that. So they're putting it together as far as consultants and developing that side of it.
Good.
And good work, you know, for your village. Drew Benson was instrumental in doing this, as well as Joe Madure, you know,
Good.
your village manager.
Good work.
So yeah, it was good work. Okay, next thing they talked about was the clerk treasurer candidates, and there were two candidates, if you recall, we talked about last time. One lady was from Rochester, and the other one was from Genesee County as a supervisor of a township over there.
Right.
And after some discussion, Sue Bassarda thought that they should start over and actually send out marketing requests for a candidate because she didn't feel that either one of these people would fit into the concept here in the village.
And so it goes on.
Well, it didn't. It stopped dead because
Oh,
Maureen Helmuth,
you just led me down that primrose path, didn't you?
Maureen Helmuth says she's tired of playing this game. She wants it over with, and she got two very strong candidates. They need to select one or the other at this point. So good move on Maureen's point.
Well, and did
And-
they?
Well, first thing they made a motion was to re-advertise the clerk position, which was failed because they couldn't get support for it.
Close that door.
And then Eric Dolan, he jumped in right away and he made a motion to approve Terry Onika,
And
who
which
is
one
the
was she again?
supervisor.
Oh, okay.
And he said that she was a rock star compared to what's out there. And there was a controversy involving rock star between Sue Bassarda and Eric Dolan.
Rockstar?
Yeah, rock star in performance. Helmuth, she chimed in that she was looking for somebody more with the accounting capabilities as well. But they apparently this lady doesn't have that type of background, whereas the lady from Rochester did. All else said and done, the vote was taken, and Onika was approved for the clerk's position. There you
Okay.
have it.
No, well, now they have to negotiate a salary.
They will negotiate a contract, yes,
Right.
with her. So that's where we stand on that, and we will tell you more when we come back right
Okay.
after this.
Hi, this is Dave Kenny. You can catch me on Auto Talk and Science in the News as part of Oxford News this week. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 12 noon, 6:30 p.m., and 11 p.m. Also, you can catch us on the weekend at 12 noon and 11 p.m. on Saturday and at 6:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Sunday. See you there.
Welcome back to Minutes by Minute. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
And we were talking about the village council, and one more thing that came up, the village manager's report. He pointed out that dog licenses, they've been taking permit fees for some time for the village, and they discovered that they can't do that. And it's the county's responsibility.
Really?
Yes, so no more doggy licenses coming from the village.
So where do you have to go for a dog license now?
Probably the Pontiac, to the
You're kidding.
Oakland County. So anyway,
What, couldn't the village act as the agent for the county?
no, that's
What?
not the way it works. So anyway, they found out, and I said, "Whoops! Hey, it was a pretty profitable thing. A lot of doggies out there." So, but it's not going to work for the village.
But I mean, if wouldn't the county be agreeable to that rather than have
No.
people go all the way to Pontiac?
That's not the process.
For a doggy?
for doggies.
Wow.
Okay, next thing they talked about was Lone Ranger Parade. That the permit has been issued for Saturday, August 4th. And we're going to be in that parade, I think.
Yeah.
And another thing is 51 Street Diner also is going to put on a Magic in the Park program on August 28th. So that'll
Oh,
be an
really?
interesting little ditty. So
Is that through DDA or
No.
Chamber of Commerce or
that's an independent village, independent business.
what? Oh,
That's
Good for
applied
them.
for that. Yep. So a little action downtown this summer. DDA concerts in the park. Want to remind everybody that's going on. So it's now began. And one more thing I want to mention is that if you folks frequent the parks, and I know you do in this area, Seymour Lake Park, Stony Park, and those particular parks.
pick up your garbage.
No, yeah, that too. But there are stop signs, and people occasionally speed through there. Keep in mind, there's kids out there, children, that could get hit by speeding cars. And by the way, if you violate the stop sign in those parks, or you're speeding in the park, you get a ticket, just the same as you can on a highway. Most people don't know that.
Who'll give you the ticket?
The sheriff's department will.
Are they out there all the time?
And they're out there all the time.
All right.
So be careful of that. Be careful of the kids. Keep them safe. Next thing we want to talk about is the Oxford Community Schools. And the president is Donnelly. Vice president is Brazington. Secretary is Stepek. Treasurer is Bailey. Trustee is Schaefer. Alessandro serves on that board as well. And let's see, what else do we have here? Let me see, Brazington, Guthrie, and Bailey. Okay. All right, we covered that part of it. They went to the pledge agenda. They wanted to add an item. Donnelly, as president, made that motion to do that. Consent agenda was approved for the minutes for May 22nd, 2018. Bills and approval. Now get this, get your checkbook out. $18,846, $964.59.
What period of time does that cover?
That covers April 2018 or up to it.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, you got a lot of schools.
It's an expensive process.
You got a lot of schools, a lot of
people.
employees,
Yep.
both
A lot of
teachers
activities
and all
going
the
on.
support staff.
Right, and we're going to
wow.
talk about that too. They had what they call a prearranged request to address the board, and that involved various schools that came forward and spoke. One was the Clear Lake School. Michael DeLong, Jenna DeLong, and Owen Pavlak were subjects in this case, and they were in game competition. I didn't know they had games. Not like checkers, but probably tougher than checkers. But they competed in an Oxville national competition.
Sounds a little digital to me.
It is very digital. They did very well, these kids. And these are elementary students. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, this is growing into a great thing when they get into high school. Elementary student Nolan Schaefer was recognized for his reading success and hard worker, in school. So that was brought up. Lake Villa School Elementary outreach program, very successful, reaching students to improve their reading abilities.
Lake Villa School?
Or
Isn't that the Oxford Middle School?
Lakeville.
Oh, Lakeville. Okay.
Lakeville School.
Because it's the Oxford Middle School that's next to
Right.
Lake Villa.
Right, you got it. But this guy is really orientated. He knows where he's at. Sometimes. But anyway, Kim Donnelly and Nancy Price are the two people that are coordinates of this program. They're doing a great job with this, by the way, out there. And kids are learning to read much better since this program was implemented. In Leonard, there was a representative, but the representative that they had was a high school graduate. Her name is Wendy Reyes that was introduced. And she has received what they call a Vice Versa seal. And it gives her an open door to various things as language proficiency. In other words, she speaks Spanish very well, and she's fluent with other languages. So when she gets in college, it'll make a big difference for her. This will open up possibilities for her in
Excellent.
the language speaking area.
Excellent.
Oxford band was actually highlighted. The school band, high school, recognized students received a number of first places for marching, concert, and jazz. You folks that follow the concerts and so forth in Oxford know that these kids are really good at what they do.
They are very good.
Thanks to their instructors as well. Oxford Middle School arts and athletics were brought up, and a number of records have been broken in the athletic area for these younger students. Can't wait till they get in high school and they compete in track and that kind of thing. Yes, right. And the other thing is the ones in the arts field, their drawings and pictures, superb. These kids are really talented. So anyway, look forward to seeing them in high school as well. Robotics team, of course, in high school has done very well. There are 42 students in the robotics program, 29 mentors, people that are assisting, in these development of these robotics. I guess the latest one they're working on, they have to move this box or whatever it is to different locations and stack them or put them in different areas. And they've designed that where the unit has an escalating device that picks it up, moves it up, and holds it there until it gets there.
And all these
location.
industries out there are going, hey, these kids are pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. Now, just so you know, they placed number 15 in the state. So
That's not bad at all.
It's not bad at all. No, and they compete against some pretty tough competition out there. And they are the tough competition. So there you are. Swim team was brought up that they did a great job this year. And next was the boys bowling. Now, most people don't think about bowling, but Oakland County champs this year. These kids were. Yeah, so they had some pretty good bowlers. They introduced 2 young men that were bowling on this team. And then the girls bowling, now get this, won the first ever in Oxford history, the state championship.
State
State championship. So you talk about bowlers, these girls can bowl. Okay?
Wow.
Great. And first time ever. So good way to go, girls. Girls teams for tennis. Gail Bailey, which you've heard me talk about Gail. She's doing a terrific job with these girls.
If you've ever seen it on our station, this is the guy that covers it.
Yeah. And Gail has come a long way with these kids. Started out with, I think, maybe about 7 or 8 players, and she has improved on every year. She, of course, has some of these kids are graduating, going on to college now. But she's got some young ones coming up that look really good, and she pointed that out as well. Golf league, they've set records this year for high school.
I set records for lost balls.
Yeah, no, they set records for actually making it to the pin for the least amount of strokes, which is something you need to work
Yeah,
on.
oh boy.
And but these guys don't have a bulldozer following them as you do
I know.
for divots. Okay. Board matters, they covered amendments that need to be changed. Curriculum instruction, they approved ELA 9 through 12 curriculum. OMS science curriculum, also sources, books, that kind of thing for what we call iQuest. And Lakeville, let me see, after school literacy presentation was made as well. So a lot of neat things going on over there in the school district, and we'll talk more about that at a later date. What do we got coming up?
Well, just a couple of meetings. On 6/26, 6:30, the Village of Oxford Council, one of your favorites.
Yes.
And on 6/28, at 7 o'clock, the Oxford Township Planning Commission. And if you notice, we're covering the school activities now. One of our best people, John Ochins, is no longer with us, and we're wishing him a great time for the rest of the summer and his retirement.
We are so sad here. We
Yes.
are. Yeah.
So-
John is a great guy.
Yes, he
and
is.
with that, we'll close out. I'm Elgin Nichols.
And I'm Dave Kenny.
Catch you next time right here on Minutes by Minute.
I didn't realize you were putting that in.